What are some of the common early mistakes that you've seen teams making as they're just starting with a project, looking at how they're going to set it up?
I'll jump off then. So from my end, I think the biggest mistake I've seen is projects not really understanding the long-term effects about decisions they make very early on. Usually it boils down to you have to build a very complex product and you don't want to think of the token as part of the product. You just want to think it as something that you need to get done. And that usually comes with a lot of problems down the line. If you follow the industry's expectations in the short term, you'd like to work well, but in the long run, that has a lot of detrimental effects.
Yeah, and that's why, we love working together with Lemma and team, right? Because, they've got this sort of this very long-term approach to things. While on the HLV end, we're very much focused on the token launch event itself. So it's a kind of a great pairing to end up having. But this one's kind of surprising. The first thing that comes to mind for me is really not thinking about the launch event, the token launch event early on, which is kind of counterintuitive because you'd think, teams ready to prepare a token launch, the first thing they would think about is the actual token launch event itself. But this is really understandable because most teams haven't been through the entire launch process before. Most teams, they end up being hyper-focused on things like product development and the roadmap. And it's really easy to lose sight that there's ultimately a token to launch at the end of this process. So to say that once a team has made the decision to launch a token, that token launch needs to be the most important short-term event on the calendar. Not saying that other events aren't critical, right? Certainly, like many of them end up being very critical. Product releases, community, all of this stuff is critical. But it's just that they can be planned around the token launch event in itself. Right? So we always end up advising teams start with a main event in mind and kind of work backwards.